Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. I was going to start this video when I got back down to the stable, but Nancy's quite happy here just having a little graze before we head back down. It is pretty windy, so I'm really hoping that you're going to be able to hear this. I just wanted to give you a quick update on Nancy and I before I restart my channel. As you can see from our last video, it's been quite a long time since I last posted a video. Not through not wanting to, it was just, there was a lot going on. Nancy was very new to me, was figuring a lot of things out, and we actually ended up moving yards a couple of times, which I'll explain why in a moment. But I thought, rather than just sort of jumping back on the channel, starting again and none of you really knowing what happened, where we went, and how Nancy's getting on, I thought it would be better just to do a real quick update now, just to fill in the gaps, and then we can carry on, because I've got lots of exciting things planned. Actually, I'd really like to start getting Nancy out now. I think she's almost ready. I don't think anyone would ever say they're completely ready for anything, but I feel like we've bonded enough. I know her enough, she's trusted me enough, and I think the next stage for us is to start going to some little training clinics, not even necessarily competing, just getting out a little bit, going to some new venues, and maybe just doing a couple of little shows just for a bit of fun, nothing serious. I've always said from the start that I just want to take it really slow and easy with her, take it at her pace. Hi baby. Yeah, take it at her pace, whatever she's ready for, whatever we're sort of working towards, and just really go from there. So that's why I wanted to start my channel back up. I've always stayed active on Instagram, so you can catch up, you can have a scroll through and see what we've been up to on there, because that is pretty much up to date. We've had a couple of little gaps along the way, but not as much as on here. So I was gonna note down sort of step-by-step dates, where we was, what we was doing, but I thought, you know what, it's easier for me just to do a little introduction now, and then I'll insert some footage, anything that I've got that I think is relevant and worth seeing, and I'll sort of time stamp it on the screen. Nancy, you just step over your rope. She's not going anywhere. Oh God, this is a good start, isn't it? Yeah, so I thought I'd just date stamp it on there, it'd be a bit easier, and then that'll give you an idea of what we were doing, where we were at, and how we've ended up where we are. Nancy's been doing super well, as you can see. Probably not the best, most flattering angle of her, but she is doing super well mentally and physically, and yeah, she's looking really well. So I'm excited to share the updates and get back on here with you guys. Yeah, so we look forward to it, and I'll speak to you in a minute.
Who's that? Who is it? Oh, who's that? Is it a pretty lady? Who's there?
Just wanted to leave this little clip in here. This is when I very first got Nancy home. I just wanted to keep it in here purely for reference on what she looked like when she first arrived straight off the track. She had done her last race 2 weeks before I got her. She was stabled 24/7. She didn't have any turnout on the race yard that she came from. But as you can see, she's race fit. She's very well muscled, and she's quite lean. So I just, as I say, wanted to leave this in here purely for reference, so you can see what she looked like when she first came to me, and then as the video clips go on, you can see how she's improving weight wise, condition, and how her muscles are changing as well, because as you can imagine, it's a completely different type of work that we're going to start doing with her.
Okay, so this is the first yard that you would remember from my last videos I had Nancy at. This is about a few weeks, maybe a month after I got her. It was the first time I ever lunged her with the bungee on, so I was just recording that and showing you that really. As you can see, she's actually filled out quite a lot there from when I first got her. But yeah, this is the first yard I ever had her at, and I wasn't planning to leave here. It wasn't the prettiest yard, but it had all the facilities that we needed, and Nancy seemed really happy there. We had turnout most of the winter as well, which a lot of yards around here don't have because we are based on clay in Essex, so the fields do get really wet and boggy and slippy, so a lot of yards do shut their fields. So I was working at home at this time. I had Nancy around that, and I was pretty much on DIY. I just had some services to help feed her and things like that, but otherwise I would do everything myself. So as I say, I wasn't planning to leave, but an opportunity come up where I was able to go back to working with horses, which I'd done previous to the job I was in when I had Nancy here, and it actually meant that I could take Nancy with me for training. So it was based on a dressage yard. I'll show you more in the next couple of clips. But it was based on a dressage yard with a trainer that I previously knew from when I had my last horse. And as I say, I would have been able to take Nancy with me and train whilst I was working. So having a young horse, a thoroughbred straight off the track that knew nothing, I thought this might actually be a really good opportunity for us, and decided to go ahead. So that's where our first yard move come up. Wasn't anything to do with the yard, as I say. It was purely due to opportunity and being able to take Nancy with me and train whilst I was working. So this is the second yard I moved Nancy to, which is based with the dressage trainer, as I just mentioned. I was also working here. As you can see, Nancy has found her feet. She's rather fresh. It was just coming into winter, and she was rather excited and quite hard to handle on the lunge. She'd got a little bit naughty. I think the change in everything going out on the grass. Yeah, she was just starting to find her feet and really feel herself. But we was based here for a fair few months, right up until the spring, where we did quite a lot of flat work. I had lessons every week as part of my training, and yeah, it was really beneficial for us for that start in our career, just getting used to each other with the help of a professional and an experienced rider by our side as well. So it was definitely a good move, and it was a lovely yard. Nancy was really happy there, and it was so nice to be working on the yard and have her part of my daily routine, so I was able to do everything with her myself as well. So after finishing our 6 months with the dressage trainer, I had a little bit more of an idea what I wanted to do with Nancy going forward, and I decided eventing might be a good idea. So I decided to move Nancy to another yard fairly local to us, where I was also working and training, and this was a more competition event yard. So this is one of the first times Nancy had been jumping. It's probably a couple of months after we moved there, so I'd done a little bit of jumping with her, but this is the first time we started to sort of put fences together and was having a bit of help. But as you can see, she's changed drastically in the way she looks. She's confident and going forward, although she is very unbalanced, very wobbly, but that's all part of the fun of having a baby. So I'm just keeping these clips really raw, unedited, the good, the bad, so you can really see what stage we were at and how we were getting on. But yeah, super pleased with the way she was coming on, and yeah, nice little jumps there. I like your face paint. Can we see? Yes, that's new. Bit of eye glitter going on. Yeah, lovely. That's great. I think the only thing you're going to be attracting is flies, darling, I'm afraid. give her a pat. Come again. Let's go now, let's go, keep going, go, go, go. Oh, you clapped it up. Pat her. Girl after my own heart, all she wants is his food. You monkey. You monkey. I then stopped working on the event yard and unfortunately to keep Nancy there, it was only full livery that they offered, and as you can see by how beautiful the yard was, it come with quite a hefty price tag. So unfortunately I wasn't able to keep her there, so it did mean that I had to move Nancy to another yard. I started working from home again, doing just a general office job, and had Nancy again DIY with just a little bit of help with feeding and things like that. So this is a little look at us just having a little jump round with some of the people on the yard, and her confidence has improved drastically, as you can see over the clips. She's got a great attitude for jumping, but her attitude for allowing me to help her with the jumping is a little bit different. She likes to take control, thinks she knows best, as every young horse and teenager does, but yeah, she's got the attitude and the confidence and the scope for it, so that's all I can really ask for. Okay, so as you can see, we're back at the fancy yard. Unfortunately, the last yard didn't last too long. Nancy didn't really settle out in the field. She was constantly running around, and unfortunately, we were asked to leave because of that. She was setting the other horses off, which is a real shame because she was actually out in the field with company rather than this yard where she has individual turnout. But because we were asked to leave, I thought the safest option is just to take her back to a yard that I knew, even if it meant paying the rather high price tag. I knew it would only be short term. But if anything, it did sort of cement my feelings that I'm not a full livery person. I enjoy DIY. I like doing everything myself and looking after my horse myself. So I knew it would only be a short-term option until we found the right yard for both of us. But as you can see, we're still having a bit of fun jumping around, lots to work on, and Nancy has not been an easy horse to produce or jump at all. She's very temperamental. But I'll go more into detail in that in some other videos. This is more of just an update of where we've been and where we're at now. And on to the last yard where Nancy is still at, thankfully. I do feel for poor Nancy. She has had to move around a lot. Most of it due to our training, which has been really beneficial for us, and thankfully she does settle really well at new yards, and moving about doesn't seem to affect her greatly, which I am very, very much appreciative of. But she's super happy and settled at this yard. It's DIY, much to my delight. And yeah, she's really happy. She's living out pretty much 24/7, which she's never been able to cope with before, so that just shows she's happy and chilled, and her temperament and behaviours much more easy to handle as well, which is great. As you can see, she's a lot more chilled with her jumping here as well, and she's doing really well. But yeah, touch wood, this will be the last yard that she'll be at until I have stables in my back garden and she can come and live at home with me. A girl can dream. But yeah, hopefully this little update has been helpful, and it's just a little look at where we've been, what we've been up to, and where we are now. So I'll carry on videos from here, but I just wanted to get this one out so that you know what we've been up to, and how Nancy's progressed and how we've got to where we are. So I hope you found that little update helpful. It kind of lets you know where we're at and how we got to where we are now. As I say, I would have left sort of comments and a bit more detail in the other footage that I've uploaded from where we've been. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting back on my channel now, speaking to you guys and sharing what we get up to. So I look forward to the next video. Hope you've enjoyed it. I know it's probably been a bit of a long one, but thank you for sticking around if you did. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.
and we will speak to you soon. So bye now.